Survivor's Remorse, how did that audition come about? And did you think you were even gonna book it? The fact that it was like the lead of a TV show and, and all of that stuff like that.
Right. Well, with Level Up, it was totally different because the pressure was off. It was like TV movie, one-time thing, do this real quick and get out, turned it to a series. It was like, a series regular fell into my lap and I had to figure out what to do with it. Survivor's Remorse, that was the role that everybody in Hollywood was aware of, that every one of my peers had interest in, and I knew it. So I felt the pressure of like booking this role is a thing. You know what I mean? Like people want this. And that I felt that pressure for the first time with that. The first few auditions were fantastic. Like I auditioned for that maybe 6 or 7 times. I would say the first three were fantastic.
Right.
It was the testing process that started to throw me off. It was because like I would feel great after my first test, and then I wouldn't hear anything for a week, and then they'd say like, we need you to come back in and test again. And I was like, okay, cool. What are the notes? Like, how did y'all feel? Whatever. And they're like, no, you were great. Just do the same thing. I'm like, all right, cool. So I would do like the same thing but different. That's kind of like that's what we live by as actors, same thing but different. And I would go back and test again. It would be in a whole new room of people, like the same casting directors, same producers, but now me and the 15 other guys who were there last week, it's a totally different set of 15.
Wow.
And it you could take it like one or two ways. You can either feel good about that, or you could feel like, all right, I was good, but not good enough. And that's kind of what it felt like, because it happened 3 times. Like I went in and tested 3 times with 3 different groups of people,
I didn't even
all
know they
about
tested that many times.
10 or 15. Oh my gosh, man, it's crazy. Like Ron Rico said the same thing, because he was in Atlanta. He got booked before I did, and he would fly out to LA for these tests. So, I would see Reek and I'm like, oh, good to see you again. He's like, oh yeah. And then, today we got Erica here as well, who was my sister on the show, Erica Ash, and she's testing too. She would get booked from that test, wouldn't come back for the next test. Wow. Rico would come back because the chemistry between Cam and Reggie needed to be tight. So I would see Rico again in a whole new set of 15 guys. So I'm like, look, man, I'm sick of this. I'm not coming back out here for another test. Y'all seen what I can do at this point 5 times in person, 5 times. So like, what's the problem? You know what I mean? Why don't y'all go do some more tests? And if you see something that you feel like you like more, then we can come back and do something a little more discreet. But like doing these big 3-hour tests with all these people in and out of these rooms is crazy. Like, it's crazy. So I started to get really discouraged. And eventually, I was talking to my mom about it. And she was like, if you're going to go in for one more test, then you got to make sure that this is the test that you show them that you're the person. And I was like, I got nothing left. And I kind of just went in, honestly, not giving a fuck. I was like, I don't even care no more. This is what they're going to get. And if they ask me to come in for another test, my answer is going to be no. And that was the one that I ended up booking the role on.
Yeah, of course.
Sometimes you just got to let go of it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to be like, whatever happens, happens, man. Clearly, I'm out of control here. So whatever y'all feel is what it's going to be.
Straight up. Hey, I always tell people, when you don't care, that's when you book your shit.
That's when you book. It's true.
Anything I've ever booked is when I was like, man, fuck this audition. I'm going to go in and do me. If they don't like it, fuck them, fuck everybody, fuck their mama, fuck their daddy. I'm out of here. And they're like, that's what we wanted. Thank you. It's like they want to be disrespected.
Bro, it's true. It's so true, man. It was the same thing with The Boys. I was pissed in my audition with The Boys. I was so pissed. I did not want to do that. And they loved it. They loved it.
That's crazy. Well, I was going to ask you about that, because where you're at in your career now, do you still audition, or is it offers, or do you kind of choose what you want to audition for? Like, where are you at in that process right now?
I'm somewhere in between. Like, I feel like, there's certain projects that come across, and sometimes they're just a straight out offer. And they're like, this is the offer. This is how much they want to pay. This is how long it's going to be. This is who you're going to be in it with. What do you think? And sometimes my answer is yes. Sometimes it's no. Like, I'm in that position where I'm able to get the whole picture up front and decide if I want to be in it or not. And then there's other times where they're saying, this is early on and this is going to be Steven Spielberg. He wants to see people. Like, you willing to go in? And I'm like, hell yeah. Like, I don't even know what it is, but I'm still like, yeah, I'll go. Sometimes it's just a matter of this person wants to make a movie, but they don't have a script yet. They just want to talk to people. You want to go have a meeting, and like, I'll go do those things as well. And then sometimes it's just an old-fashioned casting director remembered me from something. They want to see how I would, portray a certain character, and I go in and read for casting. Like, it's all over the place. Every door that I've walked through has kind of opened up another lane of being able to find ways of excelling in my career, though. Right. I will say that.
I was going to ask, how beneficial do you think general meetings are? Anybody don't know, a general meeting is when you meet with a casting director or producer, and you just sit down and talk, and you're not really talking about shit. So but how beneficial have they been for you? Because I remember I went to a general meeting at Disney one time, and I'm sitting in this casting lady office, and she's talking to me like, listen, I don't have anything to put you in. You seem like a nice guy, but I really have zero. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, why the fuck am I here right now? But for you, right, that's just my experience. What's been your experience with general meetings?
It's 50-50. I think general meetings are always worth going on, but they don't always lead to anything. I've had some of those meetings, where I'm leaving the room and they're like, look, man, we love you. Like, we think this is great. Honestly, I just wanted to meet you, but we just have nothing to place you in. If something comes up, then we'll give you a call, and you never hear back from that person. But then that's also happened. And then I did hear back from that person, and it was something very specific. They're like, this is coming up. You're the person. So you let us know what you want to make this happen, and we can try to do it together. Like, so it's been both sides. You know what I mean? But then there's also been generals where I've met with like a producer, ended up doing a movie with the producer later, and I just hear through the grapevine that something else is coming because that person just loved my personality enough to say, like, look, I don't care what else you need on screen. You're going to like working alongside Jesse because of who he is.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he's like, they just be saying stuff like, yo, it's fun. He's light. He's professional. You're not going to get no diva shit with him. Like, it's all just going to be cool. And the work environment is going to be great. So, like, you want a stress-free work environment, then, like, hire my boy. So I've seen those come from general meetings, too. Even though I didn't really know these people that well, they felt like just from a general meeting, us kicking it, laughing, talking about Coachella, stuff like that, in an hour-long meeting has led to, like, multiple projects,
Hey, this is a running theme I've had on all these. I've interviewed Jackie Long so far. I've had a few people on so far, right? Jackie, a great dude, man. We had a really good episode.
I'm sure Jackie. Wow, man. That's my boy, though.
Yeah, we had a good one. Have you been auditioning during COVID? Because my team hasn't sent me it. When I tell you zero. You see the
what?
Zero auditions since March. How many ballpark? How many you've been on so far, or self tapes or whatever?
Ballpark 2025.
I'm firing everybody right off this goddamn. Everybody getting fired, man. Hey, bro, I'm telling you, zero, dog. Zero. Ain't nobody called me. They ain't called to check on me and my family. They don't give a, bruh. I'm doing a podcast because no one gives a fuck about sending me anywhere.
Dang.
I'm doing a podcast because I really want to do this podcast. But the point is,
of course.
Nobody has hit me up about anything. Wow,
Jay. That's a trip. Because I feel like people have been really proactive since this started because everybody's like neck is on the line. All these companies are downsizing. Every casting company is downsizing. Every agency is downsizing. So people are working. So like that's a surprise for me. Hey, do you think it has anything to do with the MacGyver schedule though? Because y'all work. When y'all work, you work a lot.
We do. You know what I think? I think no one likes me at my agency. I don't think my management likes me.
That ain't it. They can hate you, but if you booking, they gonna send you some stuff.
Honestly, I do think when it comes to TV, it's the MacGyver thing. But I'm sure you have auditioned for films too, though, during this time period.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, for
haven't
sure.
auditioned, but nigga, I ain't auditioned for a voiceover. Don't nobody.
Oh,
I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna take that back. My voiceover agent's the only people that have sent me anything. But it was for like
got you.
fucking KY jelly commercials. So it was some shit I wasn't gonna do. It was like, hey, yeah, you wanna
Okay.
so
All right. Look, man, you know, KY, hey, KY sells too.
KY sales too.
I would
I've
rather
used
do a
it.
KY voiceover than a KY commercial with my face on it, you know?
That's true. I always be worried about the people because the people that do like them herpes commercials and they gotta look like they so happy that they have herpes,
Yep,
but they got control of the herpes. I'm like, you ain't that
man,
goddamn happy.
that's a catastrophic situation to be in. Nobody you meet with herpes is that happy, but
Nah,
they
ain't
got to
nobody that
make you
happy.
happy about the medicine at least. At least.
Hey,
Jeez.
so how did Independence Day 2 come?